Hello and good afternoon. Please be seated. On behalf of the University of Evansville, welcome to our 2019 winter commencement exercises. I'm Chris Petruskevich, president of the University of Evansville, and we begin today by celebrating the history and the life of our university, but most importantly, we begin by celebrating our class of 2019. Congratulations to all of you. As we celebrate our university and a time for hope, I invite the university chaplain, Reverend Andy Payton, to offer today's invocation.
As a pastor and a chaplain, one of my roles is to remind people to see the many transitions and changes we all go through the lens of faith. Part of what we do as pastors is that we invite people to see the holy in what once was, is, and will be. For example, with pastors, when babies are born, we baptize them. When people fall in love, we perform the marriage. And when students graduate, we pray. Just a few, yeah, I guess you can laugh at that, yes? Ironically, I didn't mean that as a joke. Just a few years ago, you began your journey toward a degree, and now you've finished your journey. Today marks the new beginning for you, the faculty, the administrators, and the family who have invested so deeply in your education. Today is a day in which I would like to challenge you to both celebrate and see the gift of God's presence in this treasure that you've been given. Let us pray. Good and loving God, we do thank you for giving us the opportunity and the gift of this day. We are grateful for your guidance and love that makes this moment possible. Please bless and guide our graduates as they reach this end and as they chart new beginnings. May they, and what they have learned by being here, allow them to truly be women and men for others. May what we have learned from them enable us to do the same. Though they are leaving our campus, we know that they will always be part of this community. And we ask that the relationships that they have created here could continue to grow. This we ask in the name of the one who was, is, and is yet to come. Amen. Now please stand as you're able and let us sing together the University of Evansville alma mater, Hymn of Evansville, printed inside your program.
Please be seated. As we gather today to celebrate our class of 2019, there are many of our family and friends, members of our board of trustees, our faculty and staff that are here to say congratulations and to welcome you. One of those is the chair of the University of Evansville's Board of Trustees, Linda White, who is also here to extend her congratulations.
Graduates, we're going to go back in time for just a second here. Can you remember when you were 6 years old, probably in kindergarten or first grade, or for you advanced students, maybe in the second grade, in your wildest dreams, would you ever have imagined yourself sitting here today on December the 12th, 2019, on the campus of the University of Evansville to receive your degree or your advanced diploma? Would you have ever imagined that? Well, this is encouraging, but think about it. What got you here today takes support, dedication, commitment, and you made it because you dreamed big. And you're here today because of your support system. And in the audience today, you have many of your support system supporters here, whether it be family, friends, significant others, spouses. They're all here to support you. I happen to have had lunch today with the gentleman whose son is in the audience today receiving a double major. He came all the way from Italy many years ago, and he dreamed big for himself, and he dreamed big for you, Alex Russo. So think about that, because all of you have a very strong support system behind you. And as the University of Evansville has prepared you, you are ready to go out, conquer the world, and continue to dream big. Congratulations, graduates.
Well, every year we celebrate the most important part of our university, our students. So it's been about 12 minutes since we congratulated you, so can you please stand so we congratulate you properly and congratulate you on serving as part of our university and part of the class of 2019. Congratulations. Okay, you can sit down again. During your time here, we asked you to come up with ideas. We asked you to think about change. We asked you to make those ideas a reality, and we asked you to implement change. We asked you to make a lasting impact, to make a significant contribution to our communities and to a global society, and you've certainly done that. You may recall that about 4 years ago in this very space, you gathered as a group of eager freshmen from around the country and from around the world. You marched out, maybe even meekly proceeded, to join our university community. At that time, you were flanked on both sides by faculty who welcomed you to the UE family. That August day is a fitting symbol of the journey, the beginning of a journey. And today, as you processed into Meeks Fieldhouse, you were surrounded by those same faculty members, those men and women who were your teachers, who were your mentors, and who were your friends. From the time that you walked in here, they walked with you, and at our commencement today, they look a lot more like friends than strangers, and they are a lot more like mentors than teachers. Most, I suspect, are a little less scary than they were 4 years ago, although perhaps some are still a little intimidating. We do our best to empower each of you to think critically, to act bravely, serve responsibly, and live meaningfully in a changing world. You embody those 18 words to shape powerful and enduring change in our community and in our world. So don't leave with the idea that you're going to leave the University of Evansville to go forth and change the world, because you already have. Instead, we ask you to go forth and to continue to change the world. We just can't wait to see what you do next. This is truly a time for us to be able to celebrate. We started a new tradition. Well, I guess it can't be a tradition if we just started it, but we just started something this week that celebrates our campus. Until now, the Interfaith Peace Bell, just outside of Ridgeway, rang out for important moments in the history of our university. It rang out at convocation to begin the academic year. Now that bell becomes the bell of celebration for our entire campus. We will celebrate powerful moments of colleagues and classmates by inviting you to ring the bell to recognize your achievements. So when you experience a powerful moment for, by example, landing an internship, beginning a job, making a deposit with the admissions office when you come back for your next degree, publishing a paper, or even graduating from the University of Evansville, you are invited to signify the good news by ringing the bell. So I invite you today, as our newest alumni, to participate in this new tradition as you leave, and be sure to post it on social media using hashtag #AcedIt so we can all celebrate with you. So as you hear the echo of the bell ringing throughout campus, please know that the impact of your legacy will ring throughout campus for your lifetime and the lifetime of our university. So congratulations, and we look forward to seeing what you do next. We have a tradition at the University of Evansville, and that is that the recipient of the ICAM prize presented at the previous spring commencement serves as our commencement speaker for our winter commencement exercises, and that person is Professor Dr. Christy Miller. The ICAM prize is presented to a member of the faculty with a proven track record of commitment to our students and commitment to their success, a faculty member who inspires students and provides a platform on which they can explore and develop innovative and new ideas, faculty member who goes above and beyond what happens in the classroom to interact with all of you, ensuring that you become not only proficient, but passionate about teaching, advising, and mentoring. Since her arrival at the University of Evansville, Dr. Miller received the Siddell and Sidney Berger Service Award for her involvement in student recruitment. She was selected as Evansville's Business Journal's 20 Under 40, an honor that recognizes young leaders who make a difference in their community and in their world. Dr. Miller is the chair of the Department of Chemistry and instrumental in recruiting and retaining the best and brightest. That means all of you. She maintains contact with alumni, supports them throughout her and their professional careers, including engaging events on our campus, giving them a reason to come back home. Dr. Miller received funds to support undergraduate research, many of which you have participated in, and we welcome her to give this year's spring, fall, no, this is winter 2019 commencement address. Dr. Miller.
Good afternoon, President Petroskevich, members of the Board of Trustees, administrators, faculty, staff, students, alumni, and friends. I am both humbly and sincerely honored to be giving the 2019 University of Evansville Winter Commencement Address. When I was asked to give this address, the first thing that came to my mind was, what do I say that is remotely interesting or beneficial to seniors who are within minutes of graduating? Typically, a commencement speech often contains words of wisdom, lessons learned, ideas on how to be successful and happy, or insights as to what ultimately matters in life. While I doubt that anything I say today will be remembered, I do plan to share with you a couple of things that I have drawn upon repeatedly in my 43 years of life. And do know, I'm fully aware that there's little more pleasure one can give an audience that compares to the end of a speech. So rest assured, this address will be a finite experience. As a chemist, I often communicate in charts and tables, so I tend to be to the point and succinct. You can believe me when I tell you that I'm going to talk for less than 12 more minutes. Yes, I've timed the speech. The first tidbit of insight that I'd like to share with you is this: always do the right thing. Always do the right thing. Sounds simple, right? I'd venture to say that regardless of varying opinions on major political and religious issues, almost all of us in this room could be considered moral, decent, ethical human beings, and we'd likely all agree that most of the time we tend to do the right thing. However, let's face it, All around us is the temptation to be a tiny bit dishonest or to cut corners in both life and work. I have been playing tennis for a good portion of my life, and for those of you who don't know much about tennis, unless you are playing in the finals of a major tournament, you are your own line judge. In other words, if you are playing a match and your opponent hits the ball to your side of the court, it is up to you to determine if the ball is in or out of bounds. At a young age, it was impressed upon me to do the right thing, even if it was the hard thing. I was always told that I could never be trusted with the big things in life if I couldn't be trusted with the little things. Growing up playing tennis, I was often faced with the temptation to call a ball hit by my opponent to my side of the court out of bounds, especially if the ball looked even remotely close to being out, regardless if I knew for sure or not. But because I was told to always do the right thing, I tried to err on the side of calling the ball in favor of my opponent, even if I could easily call the ball in my favor and win the point. I will never forget the last tennis match of my high school career, several years ago, but it's memorable. My team was playing the number 18th team in the state in the finals of the sectional. 4 of the 5 matches were finished, with each team winning 2 matches, making the match score 2-2. My match was the only match left. If I won the match, we would be sectional champs. If I lost, we'd lose, go home, and it would be the last match of my high school career. I won the first set of the match, and my opponent won the second set. For those of you unfamiliar with women's tennis, the first of 6 games wins a set, and the best of 3 sets wins the match. My opponent and I were in the 3rd set. She was ahead in the set 5-4, and the game score was 30-40 in her favor. If my opponent won the next point, I would lose. However, if I won the next point, I had the possibility of being 2 points from tying the set. During the next point, my opponent and I rallied back and forth for what seemed like about 15 strokes, which is a lot for tennis, until she finally blasted one cross court, several feet from where I was positioned. From where I was on the court, the ball looked as if it was out of bounds, meaning I would win the point. But there was a very tiny small part of me that thought the ball might have caught just a millimeter of the line. So I called the ball in favor of my opponent and therefore lost the match. After the match, my coach said to me, "You know, you could have easily called that ball out of bounds in your favor, but one thing for sure, the other team cannot question your integrity." Over the years, I've come to realize that my integrity and reputation are character traits, both of myself and others that I value the most. There's a saying that says, integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. So, I ask, what do you do when you're given $10 too much change at the store and you don't realize it until you get home? Do you forget about it, or do you find a way to return it? What do you do when you're in a hurry at the gym and don't have time to clean off the elliptical? Do you not worry about it, or do you take a spare second and clean it off? What do you do when your boss is gone for vacation and you need to leave to work early? Do you leave early, knowing that he or she will never find out, or do you remain for your complete shift? And what do you do when it's pouring down rain and the grocery cart receptacle is 10 yards away? Do you return your grocery cart, or do you just park it by your vehicle? As I said, while most of us are moral, ethical human beings, I think we'd all agree that there will always be the temptation to be slightly dishonest or cut corners. But no, it takes many good deeds to build a good reputation, and only one bad deed to lose it. Therefore, we should do all we can to live life with character, integrity, and morality. Our life should look the same in private as it does in public. And while no one is perfect, a life of integrity is always noticed. So, we should always strive to do the right thing, even if it is hard. The second tidbit of insight I'd like to share with you is make it happen. This too sounds simple. However, in my 43 years of life, I've witnessed many people talk about how much they would like for something to happen, yet they remain idle and make excuses as to why good fortune has not come their way. I know several people who want success and dream of success, yet they do absolutely nothing to achieve it. I I grew up with two younger brothers on a beef cattle farm. On a cattle farm, there are often several chores to do, like moving 20 head of cattle from one field to another, or lugging hay bales from a wagon to the barn loft, or, yes, cleaning up cow poo. Overall, farm chores were very hard and often very, very dreadful. However, both of my brothers and I played sports and tend to have a very active social life. And my dad would always tell us that before we could go to practice or go out with our friends, the chores had to be done. He'd always say, "I don't care how the chores get finished, but just make it happen." There were times where the chore at hand seemed like a large mountain that we had to climb, but my brothers and I usually worked together, got the chores done, and made it happen. Thankfully, all the while never killing one another in the process. While I absolutely hated those difficult farm chores, I've realized that the hard work on the farm of making it happen has served me well in my adult life. Although I have a very blessed life, the older I am, the more difficult life seems to become. There are often many things in life that I don't want to do, but I know that if I don't make things happen for myself, life will happen to me. Granted, in taking initiative and making things happen, I've made mistakes. But I've learned that it is important to own the mistakes I make. And often the mistakes that I have made by taking initiative often are not stumbling blocks, but instead end up being stepping stones to something great. So we shouldn't make excuses in life, but rather we should just make it happen. Because no one wants to be the person who sits back and allows life to happen to them. The final tidbit of insight I'd like to share is likely the easiest, but is also likely the most difficult to do. It is simply take time to create meaningful relationships. Notice I said, take time. We live in an era where the intensity and the number of stressors in this fast-paced life are incomparable to any other time in human history. Our view of time is to compress it and milk it for every nanosecond of productivity we can get. While we think that new technologies save us time, in all actuality, they instead often consume, compress, and devour our time. We've become so busy with a million pursuits that we don't notice the most important things are slipping away. According to federal data, U.S. suicide rates are the highest since World War II, and the widespread use of social media and high rates of stress are likely among the myriad of contributing factors. We live in a world where we are more connected than ever before, yet never have we felt so hurried and lonely. Kevin Briggs is a retired California Highway Patrol officer who is known as the guardian of the Golden Gate Bridge, because he's been recognized for helping prevent over 200 people from jumping off the historic landmark to their death. When asked what he did to help prevent several people from prematurely ending their lives, he said, "I simply listened to them, because at the end of the day, what people need most is for someone to simply listen and acknowledge them." Humans have an innate desire to be valued and listened to, yet in this hurried life, we often fail to live in the moment and acknowledge and notice one another. My 98-year-old grandma passed away 3 years ago. In helping plan the funeral, I assumed that given the age in which she passed away, most of her friends would be deceased, and therefore few people would attend her funeral. I was wrong. During the funeral, I heard story after story about how my grandma never forgot to send a birthday card or make a phone call to an old acquaintance. In particular, there was one middle-aged man who drove over 3 hours to attend her funeral. When I asked him how he knew my grandmother, he said, 25 years ago, I was a young, poor youth pastor at her church. And after leaving the church to become a lead pastor over 20 years ago, she never forgot to send me a birthday card, a small monetary Christmas gift, or a random note of encouragement. And it always meant so, so much to me. I was shocked. This man had not been a part of my grandma's church for over 20 years, yet she still chose to invest in his life. My grandma was a working woman who was strict and what many would call a hard ass. But she took time to notice and care for and invest in people. You hear often that when one is on their deathbed, the degree, the career, the awards, the wealth, the mansion, the car, none of it will matter. Instead, the only thing that will matter will be the meaningful relationships that one has created along the path of life. So I ask you, as I also ask myself, if relationships matter the most on our deathbed, shouldn't relationships be one of the most important things that matter in our lives right now? In a few minutes, you will walk away here from having achieved a significant milestone, and you are all well equipped to be quite successful in this journey of life. Personally, I'm blessed to know some of you. As you move on through life, never stop learning, and know that what lies behind you and what lies before you are small matters compared to what lies within you. In closing, I'd like to leave you, myself included, with 3 challenges. Number 1, always do the right thing. So make sure you clean off that elliptical and return the shopping cart, even if it's raining. Number 2, make it happen. Think of something you need to do to take the next step in bettering yourself personally or professionally. Maybe it's sending an email, follow up. Maybe it's networking with that person who can be a potential mentor to you. Regardless, take the initiative, do what needs to be done, and make it happen. Third, create meaningful relationships. That may mean putting your phone down or slowing down to open the door for someone else, but find one person who needs you today. It may be as inexpensive as a cup of coffee or as simple as one heartfelt question, but you may never know what difference you might make in someone's life. Finally, don't forget to cultivate the valuable relationships that you already have and probably, like me, often take for granted. Many of you have loved ones here today. Let them know that they are appreciated and loved. Be sure to thank them for being here today and supporting you on this terrific achievement. Graduates, congratulations and best wishes. Thank you.
May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be ever at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your shoulder. May your garden be blessed with rain. May your days be full and your nights be calm. With all grace and courage may you stand. And until we meet again, my friend, may you rest in the palm of God's hand. May your days be full and your nights be calm. With all grace and courage may you stand. And until we meet again, my friend, may you rest in the palm of God's hand.
Thank you, and congratulations and our best to our music today. Thank you very much. Nicely done. And you also see our graduating senior walking back. Congratulations to Darwi Sandelben. Congratulations, and thank you very much for participating in commencement exercises. Each year, the University of Evansville recognizes an exceptional member of the faculty with an exemplary teacher award to acknowledge teaching excellence. The Exemplary Teacher Award for 2019 goes to a person who students say is the epitome of an outstanding educator. Her coworkers say she is more than a teacher or coworker. She goes above and beyond to make sure that everyone feels like they belong. She is caring, diligent, generous, polite, respectful, and her work-study student says that she adores coming to work simply because her faculty member brightens her day. She's an amazing person, an amazing professor. Not only is she beloved by our campus community, but also is an outstanding professional. She motivates, she inspires, and she pours herself into shaping students to become outstanding teachers and overall amazing people. This year's recipient of the 2019 Exemplary Teacher Award is Dr. Sharon Gieselman. Daniel Robinson Jr. is the Vice President of the Alumni Association Board of Directors, is now going to welcome today's graduates because today our students become alumni. Dan graduated from, not surprisingly, the University of Evansville in 2004 with a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Played baseball for 4 years during his career here as a student, went on to earn his Juris Doctor degree from Southern Illinois University School of Law, graduating magna cum laude. Now Dan is an attorney with Farmer, Scott, Ozette, Robinson, and Schmidt here in Evansville. It is my honor to welcome Mr. Dan Robinson.
Thank you, President Petruskevich. On behalf of the Alumni Association, congratulations and welcome. Congratulations on this monumental accomplishment. And I'd like to take a moment and ask you to take a look around from the trustees, the faculty, staff, family, loved ones, invited guests, and the, of course, alumni. We're all here to celebrate you today. So absorb this moment, cherish it, and today is a great day in each of your lives, and I hope you remember it forever. I'd also like to welcome you formally to the over 31,000 University of Evansville graduates around the world. As a special welcome gift, when you are presented with your diploma, each of you will receive a key. This key is, of course, symbolic of the limitless potential each of you possess and can unlock. Because of your UE education, in combination with the extensive alumni network that comes with it, you can unlock a world of opportunities. My challenge to you is to use it, and use it wisely, and unleash your potential. I have no doubt during your time with UE that you established and nurtured relationships that enriched your life, as well as the lives of others. You've already heard about the importance of those. I'd like to echo those comments and encourage you to not let those relationships end here. Continue to invest in them, and I would also encourage you to forge new relationships, particularly within UE's vast alumni network. We're so excited to see you thrive, and we want to help you along the way. Reach out to us to broaden your network and pursue your goals. We are everywhere, and we support each other. We are ready and willing to support you. In return, all that we ask is that you pay it forward to the university and other alums. And finally, I'd like to encourage you to show your support for UE. Stay connected and give back to the university that has given you so much. Again, congratulations on your accomplishment today, and welcome to the University of Evansville Alumni Association. I wish you all the best the world has to offer. Now go out there and continue to be change makers. Thank you.
It's now time for the main event. We shall now proceed with the conferring of degrees. Dr. Austin.
President Petroskevich, on behalf of the faculty, I certify that these persons have completed the required courses of study at the University of Evansville, and they are presented to you for the conferring of degrees.
Thank you, Dr. Austin. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and on the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree to which you are entitled, with all of the rights and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Dr. Austin, you may now proceed.
Dean Ray Lutgren will now call forward the candidates for degrees in the Ridgeway College of Arts and Sciences.
For the degree Bachelor of Arts, Jessica Elmore. Autumn N. Coling. Stephen Rubel, summa cum laude. Also earning the degree Bachelor of Science in Accounting, Alexander Lorenzo Russo. For the degree of Bachelor of Music in Music Therapy, Ida Chung. For the degree Bachelor of Science, Gida Fadel Al-Halji. Sydney Elizabeth Anderson, cum laude. Colin W. Briggs. Jordan Michelle Dean. Michaela Renee Philahia Kelly. Tenshi Fuji Nakamura. Frederick Burskoff Reimer. Darwi Sandlaben. Also earning an additional degree, Bachelor of Science degree, Xian Rei Shi.
We will now call forward Interim Dean Ben Johnson. Will now call forward the candidates for degrees in the Schrader Family School of Business Administration.
For the degree Bachelor of Science in Accounting, Sheng Yao, cum laude, also earning the degree Bachelor of Science. For the degree Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Nawaf Al-Hibi. Stephanie Hunt.
Dean Mary Kessler will now call forward the candidates for degrees in the College of Education and Health Sciences. Those candidates receiving graduate degrees will receive the appropriate hood to the master's degree earned.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science, Miriam Hashwan Al-Haji. Abdullah Yassin Al-Sugaf. Zachary A. Blades, summa cum laude. Morgan A. Gable, magna cum laude. Ulana M. Hubbard, magna cum laude. Erin Sue Leinenbach, summa cum laude. Sabrina N. Phillips. Hin Ching Rachel Tam, magna cum laude. For the degree of Master of Public Health, Abraham Dalen Traore.
Dean Ying Shang will now call forward the candidates for the degrees in the College of Engineering and Computer Science.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Mohammed Ibrahim Al-Jarboa. Chadi Karuta. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering, there's nobody here, so sorry. So for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Jacob M. Stafford. What is the degree? Michael Edward Stairs. Derek Stauder.
Can I ask our graduates to please stand again? Graduates, by moving of the tassel on the mortarboard from right to left, symbolizes that you have been granted your degree, and from now on you should always know that the tassel will always be on the left-hand side near your heart to remember your alma mater. Congratulations. Please celebrate with us by moving your tassel from right to left. Let's do that one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of December 2019 of the University of Evansville. Okay, you can sit down again. We know that our graduating students did not do this all by themselves. Over the course of their time at the University of Evansville, they had help from many, many people. Our faculty members that are seated here today served as teachers, mentors, role models. In fact, they served you in every possible way to help you evolve from being freshmen with your minds open to all that is possible to graduating seniors with your hearts and minds open to how you can impact the world. Would our faculty please stand so we can thank you for your work in helping our students be part of today. Our staff and administrators served as coaches, career path counselors, campus beautification magicians, and much more. Would our staff and administrators who are here please stand so we can acknowledge your work for our students. And finally, families, friends, and supporters are here and have been here for everything else. For love, for support, for encouragement, and maybe even a smile or two along the way. So will our graduates please stand, turn around, and say thank you. You all need to clap for them louder. You may be seated. Finally, over the last 34 years, our chief of security has been a rock as part of our university, and he's retiring at the end of the semester. He's back in the corner. Harold, would you please stand and we can say thank you for 34 years with us. Would you all please stand, if you will, and join me in singing the sesquicentennial class anthem, We Face the Future Unafraid. Text and music can be found in your programs. Pastor Jill Ann Nonnenberg, UE's Director of Religious Life, will close the ceremony with our benediction.
Graduates, believe it or not, you've made it. The work of college is complete. And over your time here, you have been given a gift that many people only ever get to dream about. Years of your life, where the only thing that was expected of you was to learn, to inhale as much wisdom and curiosity and perspective as you could. And in our world today, with all of its beauties and difficulties, that is an incredible gift. My great-grandmother, who was the first woman to graduate from Butler University, she loved to say, they can take away your car, they can take away your TV, they can take away your fancy shoes, but they can never take away the education that you worked so hard for. And you know what her favorite verse of the Bible was? To whom much is given, much is expected. I'm supposed to be offering a blessing at this time, so here it is. May you share your gift. May you let your light shine, and when hard times come, as they will, and when you stumble, which you will, know that there is an even greater light that holds you, now and forever. Amen.